down to 3. Dylan Miller, Asher Kim Magierek, and William Greninger. One of these two will be moving on to face Dylan in the grand finals here tonight. And it is just a question of who is going to do it. Asher going to be solving first here in this lower final. And again, for those of you who are new or have just joined us, the winner of this match has the opportunity to do a bracket reset, but that would mean they would have to win a total of 6 sets in grand finals here in order to be able to try and claim your way to Las Vegas in October. So a high bar being set for the winner of this match. White cross the choice here for Asher to begin. A quick last layer, puts it down with a 692.
Yeah, very solid start for Asher there. He looked a little disappointed, but he had a very quick ZB recognition and very fluid turning overall. I wouldn't be too mad at that. I think he's got a great chance here against William.
Yeah, we see Asher speeding up here a little bit. Especially, I noticed his turning is very, very good now. It used to be in the previous solves he's done thus far, he just wasn't turning good, and his solutions are bad. But at least his turning is getting good now. Let's wait for solutions.
Here goes Will, 692, the time to beat here for Greninger. White cross the choice, smooth turning,
Wow.
quick last layer, a 559.
Wow.
Will's up 1-0.
Not a single pause in that entire solve. It was so fluid.
The confidence on that. Look at this.
The TPS
This
burst
full
immediately was very impressive.
Definitely.
Not a
When you
single
reach last
pause.
layer at such a great pace, and you're able to close it out this comfortably.
Anti-soon into G-perm.
What a start for Will. We're going to keep this momentum going. Asher trying to respond. White cross the choice. Massive pause there. Finishing up F2L. Puts it down with a 676.
Still not a bad solve by Asher. I mean, he's putting down these sixes, so, still not too concerning from him, but Will is just solving on a whole other level right now.
Yeah, just the same story as the last solve. Just the turning is there. I mean, even the turning is a little bit lacking. I think it was a good scramble, and he wasn't turning super great. And the look ahead was also not amazing. Still a 6, though.
He definitely looks very nervous.
Stakes are getting higher here at the tail end of this competition. 676 the time to beat for Will. Got a 559 a few moments ago. White cross the choice, working on F2L. Locky last layer. 815 there for Will. And Asher's tied it up at 1 solve, but hold everything. We might have a situation here with the timer, or do we? Nope, looks like nothing will come of that, and we are indeed tied at 1 solve apiece.
Not sure what the issue was there, but either way, they are tied up 1-1. This is definitely a better spot than Asher has been in previously, and I wonder if he has some confidence going into the rest of this set.
I think there might have been an issue with the timer stop, because it took him 2 tries to stop the timer. Once at around 7 seconds, and he stopped it the second time, and that time it stopped. Maybe just a quick clarification of that, but otherwise we move on. Asher now working on White cross here, trying to work through last layer. Unable to stop the timer that time. 830. My goodness.
No.
That's like probably the 3rd or 4th time that's happened to him. He's definitely not used to this 4-pan mode.
Yeah, just trouble all the way through this solve. Nothing really going well for him. Yeah, and in contrast, you can see William, like, he's a very confident newcomer. You can see him having a bit of a laugh with Michael Chai. He seems to be a very confident newcomer.
Gotta love that for somebody making their PSL debut. 830 the time to beat for William. Well within his wheelhouse here. White cross the choice. Looking to get through F2L. Does so in about 6.5 seconds. Locky last layer. 818. He takes the next solve by 0.12 seconds.
Not an amazing solve, but definitely still good enough given the 8.3 by Asher. Being up 2-1 against a solver like Asher, that has to give him some confidence going forward.
Greninger dodging a bullet there on that one. He's up 2 solves to 1 over Asher. Set point here already for Asher here. We're going to climb his way back into this. 13 seconds of inspection time total. White cross is the choice for Asher. Lockie working on his cross solution. Finishes F2L right there. Last layer, 8:16 for Asher. Again, another 8-second solve there.
Yeah, exactly, Michael. I mean, he's just going right back into those 8s again. I mean, he had a good stretch where he was getting consistent 6s and 7s. Now he's right back to getting to the low 8s, which isn't horrible, but I mean, with how Will is solving, that's not going to guarantee anything.
Yeah, just constant trouble on his solves here. I think the main issue is he cannot really trust his solutions, because whatever he seems to be planning, he's been making very many mistakes here. I don't think he's really fully trusting his own solutions.
And we know Asher can put up very considerable times. I mean, keep in mind, he was the former North American record holder for 3x3 with 3.89. That was back at Rose City 2022. And he's got a WCA average of 588. Lockie here, though, for Will, working on last layer. He wants to put this one behind him. A 10:07 there for Will. And we're tied up at 2 solves.
The set now. Yeah, the set is all tied up now. I think Asher definitely, I mean, he got pretty lucky there because an 8.1 did not guarantee anything. I mean, Will probably had an easy way to victory there.
Asher's back in this one, tied it up at 2 solves apiece. He needs to put down a good time here, though, if he wants to claim this first set. White cross, again, the choice here for Asher. Much smooth turning, working through F2L. A little bit of a fumble there, puts it down with a 7:15. So a little faster, but there's a little bit of fumbling in there, too. What'd you guys see?
He had the same OOL on that solve as he did 1 or 2 solves ago that he had trouble with at that time, too. So I think that algo is definitely giving him some trouble. So he's getting pretty unlucky with getting these cases that are definitely giving him a lot of trouble.
I'm seeing the same thing as you, Michael. I mean, he's still having trouble. It is a better time, so that might give him a confidence boost, but he needs to be a little bit more patient during his solve. He's turning very, very fast. A lot of pauses, too. Not too much look ahead.
Definitely not here. Time to beat for Will is a 7:15 here. A lot of inspection time used up. 12 seconds total. White cross the choice. Will trying to safety this one through F2L. Working through last layer. The lockup's not going to do it for him, though. A 9:79, and Asher somehow, some way, takes set number 1.
That was an amazing comeback by Asher, and he was helped out by a few fumbles from Will. So definitely unlucky on Will's part, but Asher should feel a lot more comfortable going into this next set, knowing that he is up 1-0.
Yeah, just super, super tough for William. That was definitely a chance to get just quite an easy set against someone like Asher, who's a very, very formidable solver, who just keeps opening the door for him. I mean, Asher is not finding his true form.
And this is where those nerves could finally start to be set in here for Will. It's been a tough round here for him, and right now he trails 1-0 to Asher. And now in this second set, Will's going to be the one solving first. So Greninger looking to set the tone here. The second fastest cuber in Oregon going up against the fastest cuber in Oregon in Asher. Last layer there, 6:99 for Will.
There we go, getting that 6, barely sub 7, but definitely still counts as a 6. That definitely should be enough against Asher, but you never know.
Exactly, and what a debut would it be for either of these two competitors to be facing off into the grand finals against Dylan Miller.
Dylan was pretty much chalk the whole way, projected around an 81% to win today. Asher a close second, but it has been tight here between Asher and William. And Asher, oh my goodness, he did not start the timer again. This is going to be a DNF, and now he's just realized it. Will's going to take the first solve.
This has definitely been, I mean, probably what, the 5th time now that this has happened to Asher. So this is definitely something that he should have prepped for better in the lead up to this competition, because this 4-pad mode is definitely throwing him off.
Exactly, poor preparation. I mean, you cannot be expecting to win this PSL by just giving away solves like this. I mean, we're gonna have a look at the replay here, but I don't think it's gonna be granted.
Can you show us the replay of the start?
Yeah, we're going to get another video replay review here. Michael Chai taking a look at things here on the laptop in front of us, and we'll be able to bring up the replay again here, hopefully for you all to see in just a moment here. We're looking at, again, the replay of 4-pad here. His hands are clearly on the timer. In full speed, that was a little bit tough to see if there was any movement itself or it was just a little late. Let's see what you guys see.
I think we're seeing
I'm
the
seeing
same thing as the
kinda hard to
last
tell.
time.
I definitely think this is an error on him and not the timer.
Yeah, and you can hear Michael Chai in the background saying both thumbs were not on the pad. You can see those little tiny pads where his thumbs are. They pause it right there. Those two little pads, those thumbs have got to be on those pads there. So the original call was a DNF, and this one is going to stand as a DNF. So Will is going to take that first solve there. And again, it's just, it sounds like a broken record every time we say it, but again, it's just been the issue of 4-pad mode. It's been different for these competitors, and Asher just hasn't found the solution to it yet, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know like what's going on. I mean, I would have assumed he would have prepped for this like crazy, like going up to this, knowing that it was going to be a very different format. But I guess he hasn't, and it's really affecting him a lot. I mean, he's giving Will just free wins.
You're very right. I mean, it's quite well known that 4-pad mode is the official usage for PSL, and I think the fact that he's not quite comfortable with 4-pad mode is leaking into his solves. I think that's what's causing his starts to be so poor on some of these solves.
And just a little friendly discussion there between the solve order looks to be in my mind. Looks like they're just trying to determine order of the solves here in this one. And if I remember correctly, in this set, Will is solving first. So a little bit of confusion here on the end from Asher, but it appears to be, Will was solving first, and now they are going to switch places. Absolutely, they are switching places. Will is going to be starting this one, so a little bit of confusion in the venue, but we are getting it sorted out from here on out. Asher down.
If Will wasn't expecting to solve, I wonder if he's going to be like a little thrown off by that, because he didn't really have time to warm up like he usually would.
Exactly, and it's another piece of the mental component when incidents come up like these. It's not only a mental block for the cuber that the incident happened to, but also the cuber in the waiting area, because Braylon, you mentioned it right on the nose. Your warm-up time is being taken away because you're invested in this incident. White cross the choice here for Will, right back into action. And looks like he's trying to recognize his EBLL for this last layer. 864 there for Will. Big pause to try and recognize.
Yeah, it's definitely been a problem for Will now. It's probably like the third time he's had his DBLL that he just couldn't recognize in time. And in the end, it ended up costing him time as opposed to just doing normal CFOP.
Agreed. I mean, you really got to make a choice. You really got to take a hard look at yourself. Like, do I really know these AUGs good enough to be using them in competition? Because certainly looking ahead to your PLL from a ZBLL is quite advantageous too.
Absolutely. White cross the choice here for Asher. 864 the time to beat. Stops the timer with a 720, but that's going to be a +2.
That is rough.
Or is it?
I don't believe they counted it as a +2, but I sure thought it was.
Let's take a
Let's have
look,
a look
at
at
the
the
replay
replay.
here again.
That does look like a +2 in my eyes.
Yeah, I'm
That
thinking
is
+2
very,
there.
very. That's very, very close. I think I got thrown off on it because the original call from Michael Chai was a +2, and now they do revert it back to the +2. So, Will, I believe, is up in this one, 2 solves to none. We'll get that score updated here as we go through. Or Asher is tied 1 solve to 1. A little bit of confusion on all ends, but we'll try and get that sorted out here for you. 768 from Will.
Yeah,
You
either
can
way,
see
still a
here this
very solid
time
solve from Will.
William opting for the OLL and PLL for this for the ZBLO case this time, looking to go a little bit more smoothly than the trouble he's been having on these ZBLO outs.
Okay, so now the scoreboard says 2-1 in favor of Will, but in theory, Asher should have no solves because even with that +2, it was a 920. Will's time to beat was an 864. So I think Will is up 2-0 in this, and there we go. Get that change right now. 624 though for Asher.
Very solid comeback after all that confusion. I think Asher is putting a lot of pressure on himself, and he's kind of coming through right now.
That was starting to look like a very, very good solve, but even still, on this last PLO algorithm, he was having trouble. Look at this. On the OLO and then the PLO, he did the wrong PLL actually. He did 2 U-perms.
Wow, doing the wrong PLL, but still putting down a 624. And there we have Asher taking his first solve. So now we are all back and ready to go. 2-1. Will leads the solves, but Asher up overall 1-0. White cross for Will, working on last layer. 701 for Greninger.
Very slight lockups, but a low 7 like that is definitely a great solve. And with how Asher's been solving, that could be enough to go ahead and take this set and tie up the match.
It is super neck and neck, like we anticipated.
Here goes Asher. 701, the time to beat for him. Making sure he's got that 4-pad down. White cross the choice. Looking to quickly get through F2L. Big lock up there in the middle. Puts it down. Unable to stop the timer. 843. And Will has tied this up at 1 set apiece.
Asher totally had him beat too, but that fumble at the end like really cost him. I mean, he just, I mean, between the DNF, the +2, and that, he just threw away this set.
He really did. I mean, on the CBLO here, he didn't have too much trouble with it, except for the cube drop at the end.
Anticipating that solve was going to be done right there. Looks like he was just 1 move away. And we are tied 1 set apiece. Asher, Kim Magierek, William Greninger, lower finals here in this one. The winner of this would play Dylan in the grand finals. And again, that is going to be a best of 5, a first of 3 sets. And remember, Dylan would only have to win 3 sets since he stayed on top of the bracket all night long here. Whoever's the winner of this one, they have a chance to reset the bracket, but they would need to win a total of 6 sets. So a very, very tall drink of water for whoever moves on to face Dylan here in this one. But now we're tied up at 1 set apiece, and now we're going to get the next set here going. Winner of this one is going to move on to face Dylan. Asher solving first on White Cross. Smooth turning here from Asher.
Very
Quick last
smooth.
layer.
That's much better.
There we go.
526.
That is exactly what Asher wants right now to get back into that groove.
Very, very good. This is exactly the form we saw at the 2023 World Championships final, where he got a 539 single in the final. A super smooth solve that was, and this is exactly like it. 0 pauses for that PLO recognition. You see that?
That was amazing.
Absolutely.
Very fluid last layer.
That's the kind of Asher we know right there. Pressure on Will here. 526 the time to beat. His best this competition, 497. White cross the choice for Will here, trying to get through F2L quickly. Ad's not going to be able to do so, though. Massive lockup, soft tap of the timer, 893. Asher is up 1 solve to none.
definitely gives him a lot of confidence going forward, knowing that he has the sets tied up in a 1-0 lead. He is comfortably ahead right now and can carry that going into these next few solves.
At 526 has got to give Asher a lot of confidence here. It's all going to be on him now to see if he can keep this going. Here goes Asher. White cross again, the choice for him. Big pause there, working through F2L. On last layer now, puts it down with a 774. Is turning, it didn't seem too bad in that solve, but those lockups made that solve just go out the window.
Exactly. I mean, the lockups and the high move count definitely did not help. So, I mean, a high 7 isn't exactly horrible. It's better than the low 8s he was getting a lot earlier, but I think Will can definitely take advantage of this.
Yeah, it's just not good enough. I think. I mean, a 774 is not a time that will make Dylan Miller turn his head.
Time to beat for Will is a 774 here from Asher, just said a few moments ago. Got a 526 prior to that, and now the door's open here for Will. It's been up and down for both competitors here tonight, and they're trying to see what more they have left in them here tonight, trying to advance to grand finals. Will very methodical here with inspection. White cross is the choice for him. Smooth turning as he works through F2L. On the last layer now, 722. Will's tied it up at one solve apiece.
Comfortably taking that solve by a good half a second. Definitely very fluid turning from him, ending in that U-perm, tying up the set 1-1.
This match is a nail biter. I mean, his turning looked conservative at first during the F2L, very slow, very efficient too, and then at the PLL, very confidently executing the H-perm.
One's across the board, one set apiece, one solve apiece. 2 sets overall, wins the match. Winner is moving on to face Dylan Miller. Here goes Asher on White Cross. Quick last layer.
There we go.
555.
Absolutely no pauses in between OLL and PLL. Just very fluid turning overall. This is the kind of Asher that we were expecting to come and see today.
Exactly. Let's have a look at the replay here. Very smooth, super good transition into the second pair. That's a great sign. No hesitation on the last layer either.
And that's a great sign to be able to bounce back to, going from a 526 to a 774 to now a 555. Asher finding his groove here late in this one. What does Will have to say about it? He's got to beat a 555 here set by Asher a few moments ago. Again, well within his wheelhouse, but it's been up and down solving from both competitors tonight. White cross the choice for Will. Quickly through F2L, working on last layer right now. Unable to get it done. A +2. That's going to be an 849, and Asher's up 2-1. That F2L was ridiculous.
It was like he was on pace to beat Asher, and in the last layer, he just totally fell apart, but his F2L was insane.
Let's look at this. He reached that F-perm very, very fast. Oh, super nice. Doing that third pair with the F moves to set up another free pair. That F-perm really, really messed him up. He reached that F-perm super fast. Oh.
He got through F2L at about 4 seconds time. Well on pace to beat Asher. Just unable to pull through. Quick F2L from Asher. 583! That is just clutch!
Another sub-6 from Asher, and he is really putting Will on the hot seat right now.
Yeah, keep in mind, this is Asher's debut. He needed a bit of time to warm up, but he has really, really found his form now. 3 out of the last 4 solves were 5s. Super, super smooth on this solve as well. 583.
Asher is finding his rhythm. And we're at 583. This would be match point right here, gentlemen, I would believe. I think we are at match point here for this one. 583, the time to beat. For Will, has to beat that to stay alive.
That is a tall order.
White cross the choice for Will. Little Locky to start, working through F2L, trying to rebound. It's not going to be able to
doesn't
get
do it.
done. An 801 there for Will. And Asher is moving on to grand finals.
That was an amazing performance from Asher. Coming back from that, like the rough first set, the rough matches before, he really clutched up and showed what he's made of in these last 2 sets.
Anything can happen in these competitions. Asher finding his rhythm late, and he is on to grand finals against Dylan. It was a little rocky road to get here, but he is in grand finals nonetheless. So we'll take a quick break, and when you come back, grand finals, Dylan Miller, Asher Kim Magierek. Don't go anywhere. PSL Oregon returns right after this.